my human being. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Solelins, and here we talk about selling is life. We talk about sales, about businesses in the wine, hospitality, and luxury brands. But all the theories that you learn here, you can apply into your business. So if that sounds good to you, stay in. And if you're not haven't subscribed yet, click here, subscribe, and click the bell to have the notifications. So without further ado, let's start. Today, we're gonna be talking about Start With Why. This is a book of Simon Sinek. I bought this book in 2010. No, actually 2010, 2009, something like that. But I bought this book in Hong Kong right before I got married, right before I have that guy that you just saw. And definitely that changed my life in many ways. Before that, I work in the oil industry. I live in Russia, in India. I traveling around the world, but it was kind of like I was young. I was going with the flow. If it today was one place was okay, if it tomorrow was another place was okay too. So then after this book, it made me realize, wait a minute. We need to have a why in life. We need to have a kind of a goal in life before to try to achieve anything. Either if it's a personal why, if it's a business why, or if it's a family why. When we understand our why, when we understand why we do the things, I bet you then the what you do and how you will do it, it will become easier and easier. So as I say, I prepare a little bit of things in here because I don't want to let it pass anything. When you have the good why, when you have settled your why in the kind of the middle of your structure, of your strategy, the why of culture, the why of sales, why you product, why you do certain things, or why you have certain services, that it will help you to develop that service or that product that you wanted to sell a little bit better, a little bit more from the human part, more than just the fact that you want to sell a product for cash, for money. Because yes, sure, people sometimes want that product, but sometimes they want that product because of the satisfaction, the feeling after acquiring that product. Sometimes it's not about, oh yes, I have the nice pants or have a nice handbag. No, it's what is bringing it into others having that bag, having those pants. So this theory of start with why, most of the biggest company are the first core of value that they writing down before to start their businesses. When you have your why very, very clear, let me get here a little bit closer. When you have your why very, very clear, then you can write down, okay, this is my why. For example, my why is to be able to have more time with my kids, to be able to have to be financial free, to be able to travel when I want instead to have 1 month set per year or 2 weeks per year. You set up your whys, and then after that first list, then you say, okay, what do I need to do, or what? Then it's the what is coming. What do you need to do in order to create it or to fit this why? So then it comes why we sell something, why we have to be different in certain places, why we are different in one culture with the other, and why we have to create it, if it's a physical product, why we have to create it a product versus for the Asian market versus an American market. I don't know, I'm sure that all of us, that have bought in those fast fashion websites. I don't want to say the name because they're not paid for it. So in some of them, so then you can see the American size and the Asian size. That is the reason why. It's because when they created that platform, they studied the demography and they study the why in one culture or the why in one demography and the why in the other demographic to be able to find the what, then to be able to find the how. Are you following me there? Are you following me there? I hope so. So, if you have any question to this point, feel free to comment below. I will be happy to answer your questions. If it in somehow hasn't been clear enough, ask me a question. Ask me like, hey Sole, how can I find my why? And my why is this, but I don't think that that's important enough in order to create a business. Every single why is important. Doesn't matter what is your why, what is your why. All of them are important because, believe it or not, what is important for you, it might not be for me, but it's important. And when it's important, then we can create ways to feed that. So I will read in your comments. So when you have a different, Dios mío, I'm completely blind. I really try to read it without it, but so that core idea, that core value, that main things of why is kind of set up your frame for your business. Guys, having a teenager is something else, and I really will do a video about this is part of being a mom. Guys, because when you have a teenager having a teenager is kind of like a PhD to understand businesses. Then you have a teenager and then you will see. You will see. Because then you okay, let's continue with our why. Why? So getting back into our why, getting back into the book that I bought 14 years ago or 15 years ago, because actually I don't remember if I bought the book right before I was pregnant or while I was pregnant, one of the other. But either way, is 14, 15 years ago. So so you have, when we understand our why, is understanding the why is basically your purpose. The why is basically your value. And the reason existing beyond. That reason existing beyond is when I tell you, like, you do it for your children, you do it for yourself because you want to have more time, because you don't like to, even that simple that you don't like to wake up every morning to go and run in the metro and get it, or in the car or whatever, to get to a job and sort of time, and you prefer to have a freedom schedule. So whatever the why is important. Then you start from there. When you start from there, tell me that the rest it become easier and easier. So then you have your how. After you know your why, then you can figure out your how you will meet your purpose, how you're gonna get into that value, how you're gonna be the differentiation with the others. And that's the moment that you might get to know your competitors. And sometimes we need to know and even collab with our competitors, because the good competitors, they are not our enemies. Actually, our competitors are our best friend, because we can really learn from each other. The marketing campaign, the way how they do marketing, the way how you can adapt sort of things. If you wanted to compare, like in the real life, imagine Nike and Adidas. If you realize they are very aligned, they have pretty much the same products, and they really cope with each other. Not, and I'm pretty sure some of them, they are even crossing staff one to the other place. People who work in Nike has been working at Adidas, or vice versa. Because that's where it's business. We really need to cross each other in order to grow our businesses. So then, well, I already talked about the what matters, and the why the most business fail when you don't have a proper structure, a proper strategy. And that strategy is as simple. Sometimes people hear the word strategy, they freak out, and they think like, oh my god, a strategy, that sounds too complicated. So, guys, it's not that complicated. It's actually as simple as writing down. You don't need to having a PhD in business to write down what do you want to achieve with your business. Do you want to achieve in a small scale, in middle scale, or high scale? But writing down, you need to put things down. When I was working the corp level, it made me laugh because sometimes you receive the manual of instructions, the manual of procedure. And the manual of procedure, sometimes they were as simple as open the email in the morning. And then you feel like, really? Really? Is that important? I mean, is that important? No, you really need to tell me that? Well, yes, that is part of your strategy, to telling to your staff how do you want to do the things, what do you expect. And it doesn't mean that you are gonna micromanagement and then you're gonna just telling them from the A to Z how to do the things. But telling them what you expected in a manual of procedure, it will giving them the enough guide to adjust in their ways to deliver a better results. When you just put them, on the desk, okay, your job is this one, you need to finish it by this time, and they don't have any kind of guide, it's hard. I remember once when I was in Venezuela, when I came back from the United Kingdom to Venezuela in 2004, and I stayed there for like a year and a half. In that year and a half, I worked in different places. In one of the places that I worked in a bank, and I remember that I have this title, coordinator of exportations or something like that. It was like a huge title, and to be honest, I was in a little office. I have an office by myself. I didn't realize how big that position was. Like the job that I have to do, it was kind of like a transfer data, something like that. But it was kind of like the people that one of my boss, or yes, I think it was one of my boss, give me a folder and say, oh, you need to finish this. I remember clearly that she didn't tell me exactly what I need to do. I swear to God. She just gave me the folders and she said, oh yes, we need to have, I think she said we need to have a database of that. I don't remember. But to the point that I did what I thought that was for. Lucky for me that she liked it, and even I got a prize, and they say, wow, what a wonderful job, and all the stuff. And literally, even until these days, I feel like, what did I do? I mean, I just put the whatever was here in the computer. I mean, I don't think that I did wow thing in order to get what I got. But well, apparently it was huge. But I'm pretty sure that if my boss in that time, my manager in that time, he will have told me, oh, we need to do this and this is the goal. This is our why. Then whatever I did, I will have felt more accomplished. I will have felt better with myself, because then I will have realized that, wow, I achieved a goal. When I did, it was basically kind of like I need to justify that I'm getting a salary and I'm here from 8 to 5. Okay, all right, let's do it. But it wasn't something that I knew the why I had to do that. And that really turned me off a lot, to the point that I think after that job, I quit the bank, because I was like, I mean, what is this? I mean, this cannot be the wow thing that I did. And then I started working in an oil company, and my life changed since then. But, which I appreciate it, but you see how important it is. And I'm pretty sure that if I will have known the why of whatever I had to do, then I will have accomplished the goal, and then I will have get the recognition. Then I will have felt better as a staff, as an employee, and I will be more motivated. I will be more determined to, okay, what is next? What is coming next? What can I achieve now? In that moment, I was like, I really want to be here for a long term. And it was a good job. I had a good salary for that time. I don't even remember how it was. But I remember then it was pretty good. It was good for the level of education that I had at the time, for the English that I had at the time, for everything. It was pretty good. So that I always like to bring some kind of storytelling into this, because like that you can, align the things with the real life. I don't know you, and you can tell me in the comments, but every time when people try to teach me things and bring a real example in life, it's kind of like a woof, really sink in my head. I hope this video gets 1 million views. Because, oh my gosh. All right, so what I was saying, let's group what I was saying. I was saying that I like to bring a real example in life, because that helps to understand theories, to understand ways to build up our businesses. So I just want that you take one thing from this video, and it's like, before you try to start anything in life, anything, even in a relationship, even a friendship, a love relationship, moving to another country, start a new job, what new business, whatever you wanted to do in life, stop and think in your why you want to do it. Write that why in one sentence. Try to really line, like you can write down many things, and then you realize that maybe all those things that you're writing down in the end is all a group in one thing. So write in one sentence your why, and in that way you can really approach and go to the next step of find out your what and your how. And I really recommend you to read this book. It's not a new book. It's actually, I think the first edition was published in 2009. So it's not a new book at all. Yes, 2009. So, but it's a book that is give you a big ideas, why your whys are important. So I really recommend it. I will tag here and below. So I will tag it either the audiobook or the link of Amazon for it. And if you don't know who is Simon Sinek, oh my God, give that to you. Go and follow him, listen to him. He's amazing. And I like the way that he talks, because he's very excited. He's very passionate what he does. But he has that tone, that voice that, make you to understand the things easier. And he really brings a lot of samples of the real life. Then once again, that's the way that I learned. When people align things in my how life works, or what is an example of life, I understand the things way easier. Maybe in the time that we're gonna have here in YouTube, then I will tell you about ADHD and all those kind of things, because I think every single detail in your personality or in your family, it makes sense and it leads you to have better businesses or not. But don't get disappointed if you have whatever history in your bag. You always can realize those little things, and that's why the why is so important, because when you get your why, then you can start to scratch it, all the things in the past, and to build up new chapters in life. So thank you very much here again to be here. Today I don't have wine, so I don't know why, but I don't have wine. But either way, I will cheers for you for some tea, even when it's messy. Bisous, bisous. À la prochaine. To the next one. Bye.